Okay, folks. So this week's challenge is regarding water intake. All right. So the importance of water really can't be understated, and it's one that most people tend to sail down the river. It's not. It's just seen as not really conducive to weight loss. In actuality, it is one of the fundamentals of both weight loss, fitness, health, and even if your goal is muscle building, water really does do it all. So it's really important that you have your water intake up to standard because um, we have to have your body functioning normally in order to elicit the the weight loss response that we're trying to get here. If your body is dehydrated or even semi-dehydrated, it's just not going to be functioning the way we want it to function. If your body is not in a good place, if it doesn't have a healthy environment, it's not going to do the things that we're asking it to do because at the end of the day, weight loss isn't good for survival, and your body doesn't like to do anything that's not good for survival. All right, so putting your body in the position to lose weight on its own is stressful. All right, and you do for your body, stressful for your body, and you don't want to um, add stressors which could affect your weight loss. So we've got to keep hydrated. Aside from that, it's going to help you with your sleep. It's obviously a fundamental to health. It's going to help with performance in your exercise. So literally, if you're not as well hydrated, you won't perform well and you will not burn as many calories. That is also the case throughout the day. All right, so we burn a certain amount of calories just to keep ourselves alive and to keep ourselves functioning. You can see my head moving now as I'm talking to the camera. All that costs calories, and that's called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and that makes up the majority of our calories. Now, if you are dehydrated, your body is going to do everything it can to conserve water, and that'll include reducing movement. All right, so if your water is low, your calories, if your water intake is low, your calorie burn rate is going to be lower than what it could be. All right, so there's direct and indirect reasons that you need to get your water up to standard. All right, so this week's challenge is to drink 500 milliliters of water um, 10 to 20 minutes before each meal. All right, so 10 to 20 minutes before each meal, I want you to drink a pint of water. The reason for this is obviously by doing this, we're going to get your water intake up to what it should be. But there's also a direct reason for having it right before your meal or 20 minutes before your meal. Um, there was a study, there's multiple studies that can attest to this, but there was a direct study in which the participants actually did this. They drank a pint of water. Um, they drank a pint of water 10 to 20 minutes before the their meals, so their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if they were on 4 meals today, their fourth meal also. Um, and we had that group who were drinking the water, and we had a control group who were not drinking the water. And the group which were water loading, which is what it's called, loading water before a meal, they were able to lose. It was either maybe it was between 2 and 3 kilo over the course of 12 weeks, which was attributed solely to drinking that water. All right, so they weren't doing anything else different. It was just the water. Uh, and so you can imagine what that would lead to if you were doing that every single day for, you know, your life. So yeah, big factor. And so we wanted to drink 500 milliliters of water before, 10 to 20 minutes before each meal. Now that will indirectly lead to your water intake being at its optimum. All right, so we have put on here the reasons for looking to increase your water intake up here in these first two paragraphs, and then this wee table here gives you a few wee tips and strategies of what you can do to try and remind yourself to keep hitting this goal. So you can do things like something as simple as investing in a wee snazzy water bottle can can help with intake. Um, so if you buy yourself a nice, what do you call those flasks? Those metal flasks, the names going in my head now, but you know what I'm talking about. Uh, get yourself one of those. Don't go for anything too big. You don't want to be lugging it around with you every day or all day, sorry, because it'll just become a burden to you. So make sure it's it's big enough to hold your 500 ml, but it's small enough so that it doesn't become a burden for you to carry it around. Setting reminders on your phone's a really handy one. Reminding you, you generally know what your meal times are. You'll typically eat your breakfast at the same time every day, and your lunch and your dinner. So setting a reminder on your phone, maybe an hour before that, which says remember to drink your water 20 minutes before your meal, is a fantastic way to make sure that you hit that every day. Um, Starting the day, which is something that I've done for a long time, as soon as I get up, well, not as soon as I get up, but I get up, get dressed, get down the stairs, and have a pint of water straight away. You've got to remember that you were basically in an 8 hour fast while you were sleeping, and you hadn't drank any water obviously when you were sleeping, and possibly for an hour or two before you went to bed you hadn't drank any water too. So it's important to get your hydration levels up straight away first thing, and that also obviously contributes to your overall daily water intake. So if you start your day with a pint of water, you'll find hitting that 3 liter target every day a lot easier. And then doing things like, adding sparkling water onto your diet with maybe some sugar-free dilute can really help to change things up and make your water intake nice and tasty. Um, and even just sugar-free dilute and normal water also helps. Getting your protein shakes in with water is a big one because you're killing two birds with one stone. You're bringing in your pint of water and you're upping your protein intake. So that is also a really good one. But yeah, that's your challenge for this week. So get on it, and I'll see you again shortly.